Hey folks, I'm Vernon Neal Reed with Cybersecurity News Now. I got a response to one of the videos that I shared earlier, and I thought it was a good question that the person asked, and I thought I would share it with you. So as it says here, and although this person has MMA written, I believe that they really are referring to MFA or multi-factor authentication. So let's read it. I don't like the idea of restricting features. And let's just, in case you don't see this, let me add this here so you can see it. All right, so right here we go. I don't like the idea of restricting features. Is there a major advantage to going beyond MFA? If I have already implemented MFA, what is the marginal benefit of implementing restrictions? Very good question. And my response is down here. So here's my response. While multi-factor authentication is a very good and crucial step in securing your systems, it is not the silver bullet. It's not foolproof. You may encounter a sophisticated phishing attack that can trick users to providing their MFA credentials. And the first thing that I want to share with you is that there is no silver bullet to cybersecurity. There is a particular principle that I actually later shared with this person, and this principle is called defense in depth. And so I want you to think of your home. Yes, you have a door that you keep locked. Yes, you may have a peephole in that door. Yes, you might have an alarm system. You may also have a camera system, right? And in your home, you may also have a safe that has some other more precious valuables that you keep in that safe. Why do you do that? The reason you do that is because if this so happens that your door gets breached, someone busts through your door, or your daughter or son opens up the door to a person who they thought was legitimate but realized they weren't, and someone gets an entry point into your home, the safe is still another level or another layer of security to keep your assets safe, right? This is just one example. And so the principle of defense in depth, as I have it said down here, I'm going to change the color. Give me 1 second, please. So defense in depth, which puts multiple layers of security measures in place to increase the overall security of a system, so that if one layer fails or it gets bypassed, other layers can still provide protection. So in this particular example, it was about features. Why do we need to close off features? The person said, I don't like to restrict features. Well, if you're not using those features could become a vulnerability. Those features can be something that people use to access that phone, to access that network environment, to access that particular online service that you have. And so the best security postures include a defense in depth principle, meaning that one, we're going to provide layers of protection because we understand that sometimes things don't go our way and one of those protective layers may fail. And if it does, we still have other layers to protect us. So that's one thing that I responded with. The next thing I responded with was another principle where it talks about reducing the attack surface. So I'm going to give you the example of your home again. So let's say in your home, you don't use the windows, right? But you don't leave them open. You close those windows, you lock them. Many times those windows have sensors on them as well, so that if they're opened, it could trigger an alarm. There's some windows that actually have sensors on the glass themselves, so that if that glass breaks, without the window being pushed up, if the glass breaks, that also sets off an alarm. This is called, what we're doing here is providing or reducing the attack surface, reducing areas that might be more vulnerable to an attacker, right? As I said here, so this includes restricting features. By doing this, you reduce the number of potential vulnerabilities that an attacker can exploit. And that's what it's about, right? You really want to remove or secure as much as possible those areas of vulnerabilities so that they can't be exploited. You may hear at your job or at your workplace, you might hear that the server team or the IT team is going to be patching your environment, or they might be updating your website, or on your phone you might see that there's a system upgrade. Many times the reason that they're doing that is, yes, the software is functioning, and yes, they have good features, but that team may realize over time, oh, we now realize that there is a vulnerability within our software, and we need to send an update to patch that so that that's no longer a vulnerability. This is part of trying to reduce the attack surface. And patching is also another part of defense in depth. This is another step or another thing that we put in place to ensure that we keep up with a robust security posture. So I hope this helps. I felt the question was a very useful question, and I wanted to share it with you all, to others who might have the same question, because I know that there's some folks who may have an IT team or might be looking for an IT expert, and they might wonder, like, why are they asking me to do this and ask me to do this and ask me? It seems like there's so much to be done. Are these people just trying to upsell me? And that might not be the reason at all. In order for them to ensure that you have a great security posture, that, as I've been saying, they are layers. There are different things that need to be put in place to help with that. So we've talked before about having a strong password, and also making sure your password is long enough, having uppercase, lowercase, special characters, etc. We've talked about multi-factor authentication. There's been about patching. Another one is encrypting your data, so that even if people get into your environment, if your data is encrypted, is like that example with the safe that has some special jewelry or money in it, right? So even if they get through your door, or they come through your window and they get into your home, and there's a safe there that has some very valuable assets, they won't be able to get to those assets. And the same thing with encryption. Encryption allows now that you can secure your data, so that even if people break in and get to that data, they won't be able to really utilize it or make any use of it. So anyway, these are and there are plenty of other principles that are followed to ensure that you have a pretty robust security posture. You can talk to your IT person or your cybersecurity person about that. If you are in need for a cyber and IT person and you don't have that, I can help you find one. We have relationships. I have a lot of relationships with companies, I'm sure in your local area or nationally. So bottom line, if you do need that type of help, reach out and I'll be happy to help you to find someone that can provide that type of service to you. All right. I am Vernon Neal Reed, and this has been a segment of Cybersecurity News Now. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. Again, stay informed, stay secure. Thanks.